What is the value of the expression 3 squared minus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 2? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? This expression is so tricky that many people end up with the wrong answer. Let's dive in and break it down step by step together. To solve this question, many people start by calculating 3 squared first, and instead of the original expression, they rewrite it as 9 minus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 2. And the next step, they usually perform the subtraction between 9 and 18 and simplify this expression to negative 9 divided by 3 multiplied by 2. Then, they proceed by doing the division between negative 9 and 3, which gives them negative 3 multiplied by 2. And finally, they multiply negative 3 by 2, which ends up with the answer negative 6. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option A is the correct answer to this question. However, this answer is absolutely wrong. Also, some other people when solving this question first go for the expression 3 squared and they simplify to 9 minus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 2. And the next step, they usually go for the multiplication between 3 and 2 because they think multiplication has priority over division. So, they rewrite this expression as 9 minus 18 divided by 6. Next, they perform the division between 18 and 6 since they believe division has priority over subtraction. And they rewrite this expression as 9 minus 3, which ultimately gives them the answer 6. And immediately, they conclude that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, it's not the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let me walk you through a step by step how to solve this expression correctly. To solve this question, we must follow the PEMDAS rule. We have to follow the order of operations I told you, step by step from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see in the image, and this expression, first we have an exponent, then a subtraction sign, followed by a division, and finally a multiplication. We should start with the exponent, because in this expression, exponent has a higher priority than the other operations. So, this expression simplifies to 9 minus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 2. And the next step, we need to handle the division and multiplication, since multiplication and division have higher priority than subtraction. However, it's really important to understand that multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this situation, the best thing to do is to start from the left side of the expression and move toward the right, performing division and multiplication in order. So, first we perform the division between 18 and 3, and this expression simplifies to 9 minus 6 multiplied by 2. And the final step, we do the multiplication between 6 and 2, which gives us 9 minus 12. And finally, the value of this expression is equal to negative 3. That's great. Option B is the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let's solve another tricky math question together. What is the value of the expression 22 minus 9 multiplied by open parentheses 14 minus 3 close parentheses? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? Let's go step by step and solve it together. In the first step, most people perform the subtraction between 22 and 9, which I have highlighted in blue. So, this expression simplifies to 13 multiplied by 14 minus 3 inside the parentheses. And the next step, they calculate 14 minus 3 inside the parentheses, which becomes 13 multiplied by 11. And finally, the value of this expression must be equal to 143. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, that's definitely wrong. Alright, now let me show you how to solve this expression properly. To solve this question, we need to follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. PEMDAS shows us the priority of the order of operations. Okay, as you can see in the image, in this expression, first we have a subtraction sign, then a multiplication sign, and finally parentheses. We must start with the parentheses first, because they have a higher priority than the other operations. So, we can write this equation as 22 minus 9 multiplied by 11. And the next step, we move on to the multiplication between 9 and 11, because multiplication has a higher priority than subtraction. So, we rewrite this equation as 22 minus 99, which finally gives us the answer negative 77. Therefore, option A is the correct answer to this question.